The 2023 Formula One season is officially over. Max Verstappen won the Drivers' Championship, with Red Bull securing the Constructors' title. The drivers are now heading for a well-deserved vacation. They might do some tests for next year's car and the new components, but other than that, there's no racing action until March 2024. So today we're going to look at what the Formula One drivers do when they are not racing. I mean, it's obvious that they are probably spending time with their family and friends, as they don't get much time during the race weekends, especially when there are triple headers and double headers. But other than that. Now, without wasting any more time, let's look at how the drivers keep themselves busy during their time off, starting with the 3 times world champion Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen loves racing so much that when he is not racing in Formula One, chances are you will find him racing on his simulator at home. He usually plays iRacing, which is a very popular and realistic racing simulator. A while ago, he also took part in the 24 Hours of Le Mans Virtual, which he almost won, but let's not get into it. He is also a part of Team Redline, which competes at the highest level of sim racing esports. Max has also expressed his interest in setting up his own GT3 team, towards which he is currently working. In his interview after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, he said that he was going to test some GT3 cars in Portimao. He also plays tennis with his friends when he's in Monaco. So that's usually how Max spends his time when he's on a break. Moving on to the other Red Bull driver, Sergio Perez. Checo is a family man, so he spends a lot of time with his family, mostly in Switzerland and Mexico. Checo is a passionate golfer. He said that when he has time off, he is on the golf course twice a week. Checo is also a keen cyclist, and he also follows football closely. He also keeps a close eye on the stock market, as he has invested in some shares there. Next up is the 7 times world champion Lewis Hamilton. Lewis has a lot of hobbies. He is always doing something. Lewis is really into fashion, which I think everyone knows, so he's always collaborating with designers and performance brands. He can be seen attending galas and fashion events. Hamilton is also a big fan of music. He has worked with a few artists in the past and has expressed his interest in making his own music someday. Hamilton also loves traveling to new destinations and exploring new cultures. He recently traveled to Africa. He is also involved in a lot of charity work, including working with kids from non-privileged backgrounds, and has his own charity that aims to improve diversity in F1 and the wider motorsport world. He loves playing golf and is also into extreme sports such as motocross, skydiving, and surfing. He is also into video games, especially the retro ones. Next up, we have Fernando Alonso. Fernando is a big sports person. In an interview, he said that he likes playing football, basketball, and tennis. During holidays, he likes spending time with his friends and playing some sports with them. He also enjoys cycling. Recently, he said that he would be testing GT3 cars in Aragon. He also does karting every once in a while. Next on the list is Charles Leclerc. Charles is really into music. Recently, he released 3 piano songs that had massive success. In an interview, he said, "The best way I found to slow down and disconnect from the racing world was music." He has also done the voiceover for the Disney Pixar movie Lightyear, along with his teammate Carlos Sainz. He also loves playing chess and tennis. He also enjoys traveling. Like Lewis Hamilton, Charles is also very much into fashion and is currently partnered by a number of fashion brands. One day, he aspires to launch his very own fashion label. He also has a YouTube channel where he posts some behind-the-scenes footage of a race weekend and his daily life. Charles also used to stream games on Twitch in the past, but he hasn't done that in a while. Moving on to the next driver, Lando Norris. Lando is the founder of Quadrant, a brand that focuses on gaming, racing, content creation, and apparel. They also have their own esports team. Lando also occasionally streams on Twitch and is sometimes seen on his friend Max Futrell's Twitch streams. They also host online racing events from time to time with other Formula One drivers and YouTube personalities. Lando also spends quite a bit of time on his simulator. Lando is massively into golf and can often be seen on the golf course, along with his friends and sometimes with other famous personalities and professional golfers. In an interview, Lando said that he loves designing and painting his own racing gear. He also picked up photography from Daniel Ricciardo when they were teammates. He also likes video games and always carries an Alienware gaming laptop with him. Another thing that Lando enjoys is DJing. Hopefully, we'll be able to see some of his mixes in the future. Next up is the smooth operator, Carlos Sainz. Carlos is a guy who loves outdoor sports. He plays squash, paddle tennis, football, and a lot of other sports. He is also into dirt biking and rallying. He is also really good at golf. He also took part in the Netflix Cup recently. He also did voice acting in the animated movie Lightyear. But overall, according to Carlos, he is a chilled, laid-back guy who avoids the limelight. His perfect time-off activity is going to the movies and having a nice dinner with friends and family. The next driver on the list is George Russell. George Russell is the type of guy who likes traveling and then posts shirtless pictures of himself on Instagram. George Russell is also the type of guy who likes cycling. He has recently started taking an interest in golfing as well. George used to stream games with Lando and Alex, but he hasn't done that in quite a while. Moving on to the rising star at McLaren, Oscar Piastri. Being from Australia, Oscar is a massive cricket fan and was seen rocking an old Australian cricket jersey celebrating Australia's win over India in the ODI World Cup final. He also likes playing video games, mainly Call of Duty. He said in an interview that he likes binging TV shows during holidays. His two favourite shows are Sex Education and Killing Eve. Next up is Lance Stroll. Lance likes wakeboarding, surfing, skiing, and skydiving. Lance is also a motorcycle enthusiast and loves doing road trips on motorcycles with his friends. He also enjoys going to concerts. Next up is Pierre Gasly. Pierre is really into fashion. I mean, no surprise there. He also enjoys traveling, skydiving, and mountain biking. Pierre is a fan of karaoke nights. He also likes playing video games. His favorite game is World of Warcraft, and he also used to stream it on Twitch. Moving on to the next French driver on the list, it's Esteban Ocon. Ocon is a big superhero fan and is really into collecting superhero comics. His helmet designs are also sometimes inspired by his favorite comic book characters. Recently, he raced with a Deadpool-inspired helmet and also gifted one to Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds. He is also very passionate about karting. Esteban is a big Star Wars fan. He also enjoys traveling. Another hobby that Ocon has is racing with remote-controlled cars. Ocon recently invited Hamilton for a friendly RC race competition, and the pair plan to do more RC battles in the future. Moving on to the Williams superstar Alex Albon. Alex loves cycling. He also regularly plays golf with his partner Lily, who is a professional golfer. Alex's interests extend to cooking and playing video games. His inclusion of the Oculus Rift in his top 10 essentials confirms that he shares the same gaming passion as us. Next driver on the list is Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki's love for food goes hand in hand with his exceptional cooking skills, developed during the quarantine period. He frequently shares his dream of becoming a chef. Beyond the kitchen, Yuki finds joy in snowboarding, cycling, and playing video games, with Apex Legends holding the top spot as his favorite game. The next driver is Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri is a driver who is quite involved in a lot of activities outside of the racetrack. The other sport where Valtteri spends a significant amount of time is cycling. He has taken part in many cycling competitions. His partner is also a professional cyclist. Valtteri is also a nature lover, as we know from some of his racy Instagram posts. He also launched his own calendar with which he aimed to raise money for a charity. Valtteri and his partner Tiffany also own a gin brand named Oath. Valtteri also has a 10% stake in his favorite ice hockey team, the Lahti Pelicans, and also co-owns a coffee shop in Finland. He is also a big fan of rallying, which is not a big surprise given that he is Finnish. The next driver is Nico Hulkenberg. Nico is a big fan of extreme sports. During his time off, he likes to go skydiving and cycling. Other than that, we don't have much information about Nico. Also, he recently became a dad, so currently he spends most of the time with his family. Next up we have the Honey Badger. Daniel Ricciardo's popularity extends far beyond Formula One circles. Renowned for his Enchante fashion line, inspired by punk rock, he's also made waves with the launch of his wine collection in partnership with St. Hugo. His charisma has landed him as a guest on numerous late-night talk shows. Outside his racing career, Daniel delves into photography, showcasing his best shots on a dedicated Instagram page. He's a food lover and is always up for trying new delicacies. He also closely follows Australian football, motocross, and UFC. The next driver is Zhou Guanyu. Zhou remains notably discreet about his personal interests. Besides his love for fashion and collaborating with various brands to craft innovative concepts, little is known about the activities and hobbies of this Chinese racing sensation. Next up, we have Kevin Magnussen. Kevin remains somewhat of an enigma, with limited information about his interests, apart from his love for flying planes. Recently embracing fatherhood, it's presumed that his time is predominantly occupied with parental duties. Plus, he's Danish. We don't know what Danish people do for fun. Moving on, another driver who keeps a low profile and has a reserved life off track is Logan Sargeant. What we do know about the American driver includes his avid interest in NFL and NBA games, particularly supporting teams like the Miami Heat and Miami Dolphins. Similar to many F1 drivers, he shares a fondness for golf as well. And that's it for this video, folks. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, comment down below which Formula One driver you share the most hobbies with, and I'll see you guys in the next video.